What's going on, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also hit that bell notification button so you'll be alerted whenever I drop new content. Hit that like button, support the channel, hit the like button, share the video, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BoxingWave10. All right, so I just wanted to give you my last thoughts on the fight. I did drop the breakdown of the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders tonight. Check that out. I'll drop a link in the description of the video of the actual breakdown that I did a couple of days ago. I just wanted to give you guys my final thoughts on this fight. I will be covering the fight. I should be on live about 7 p.m. Eastern. So I will put a notification link up sometime this morning. I'll put it up so you guys can join me later at 7 p.m. Eastern to cover the fight. All right. The whole card is going to be on DAZN. It starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. 8 p.m. Eastern. And the ring walkout for Canelo should be around 11 p.m. Eastern. All right. But I will be here an hour before the pre-fight start at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. So let's just go over a few key things. I did see the weigh-in. I thought both fighters looked good. They looked in good shape. And the weigh-in was cool. Not too much drama. There's nothing left but the fight. All right. This fight is getting a lot of hype, which is good. You got Tyson Fury out there. Shout out to D-Style, was on his podcast the other day, and we were talking a little bit about whether or not Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury was going to be announced on the night of the fight. It's very possible. So we'll see. But the fight is big, and I'm really excited. This is one of the fights I told you guys, and I've been telling you guys for a while. This is one of the matchups I kind of always wanted to see. Okay. I know there are other matchups out there for Canelo. I know a lot of people want to see him face Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, Benavidez. These are some of the names that come up the most as far as guys that he hasn't fought yet. Some people even bring up some fighters up at 175. You got Bivol, you got Better BF. But for me, Saunders always has been one of those guys that I wanted to see Canelo face. And I think with this fight, going down his resume, and I think Saunders will be one of his toughest challenges. All right. I think Canelo is going to win the fight, but I think he's going to struggle early on. I think he's going to definitely struggle some. I don't think this is a guarantee win for Canelo. The reason why I say that is because I haven't seen Canelo fight a slick southpaw since Lara. All right. I already broke down the differences between Saunders and Lara. There are differences. It's not like they fight exactly alike. But Saunders is completely different from everybody else Canelo has faced since Lara. I was on Twitter last night, and I basically said, as Canelo improved throughout his career, and it's clear improvements to me. He's improved. He fought Mir Khan. He's fought Gennady Golovkin twice. He's fought Sergey Kovalev, Daniel Jacobs. He's fought a lot of people. Callum Smith. He's fought a lot of people since Floyd and Lara. He even fought Miguel Cotto. He's fought a lot of guys with names that are respected, that accomplished things before facing Canelo. He's fought a lot of guys. But from a stylistic standpoint, I'm not talking about accomplishments. Billy Joe on paper, best performance was against David Lemieux. That's not a lot. We know David Lemieux has lost, has been stopped. On paper, it doesn't look like much. All right. But it's all about the style. And we haven't seen that. Plus, going into the fight, Billy is young. All right. Not young, but he's still in his prime. He's 31. Okay. He's around the same age. Him and Canelo are the same age. Billy is undefeated. Billy's in shape for this fight. Motivated. He's a slick southpaw with fast hands. Moves extremely well, which a lot of us feel is an issue for Canelo. And there's no funny stipulation going on into the fight. There's no catch weight. All right. There's no rehydration clause. There's no advantage that Canelo has going into the fight. Canelo got to bring his best. Billy has to bring his best. And everything is fair. Billy's not coming off of a knockout loss or a fight where he looked terrible in. You know, when you look at the Callum Smith fight, everybody talks about what happened with John Ryder. When you look at Kovalev, everyone looked at his age. He was past his prime. Right? He started training with Buddy McGirt, and you know he wasn't a crusher anymore. He wasn't as dangerous. People look at the fact that he just fought Anthony Yard. Plus, there was a rehydration clause with that fight. The same with Daniel Jacobs, who no longer fights at 160 either. Yeah, the IBF rules. Daniel Jacobs was fighting with those rules while he was at 160, while he was champion. But that night, you know, there was no clause. There was nothing fixed in. I mean, there was something fixed in. Where this fight, there's nothing. It's nothing fixed in. The ring situation is good. You know, people might complain about the judges, but that might not be an issue if the judges do the right thing. All right. Overall, Billy is in his prime, and Billy has a style that many believe give Canelo trouble. Canelo's 3 toughest fights: Floyd Mayweather, Erislandy Lara, and Gennady Golovkin. A lot of people feel that if Canelo lost to anybody, you know, obviously he did officially lose to Floyd Mayweather, but a lot of people feel that he lost to Lara and Triple G in the first fight. And some may even say in a second. The thing about Lara is Lara was that southpaw that was shooting in that left, that was landing a lot of jabs, kept moving, frustrating Canelo, clearly frustrating Canelo. Some people think that Canelo did enough to secure the win. Some people, like myself, think like Lara did enough to secure the win. I watched that fight many, many times, and I still feel the same way years later. I think that Lara won. I also think that Triple G won the first fight. We haven't seen Canelo fight anyone that moved that well since Lara. And I think that's what makes this fight so intriguing. That's where the suspense comes from. How will Canelo deal with Saunders' movement? Saunders, the thing with Saunders, and I see why people don't really rate him that highly is because outside of David Lemieux, he's never really dominated anyone. Yeah, he won some fights clearly, but he's not a guy that's just known for his power. You know, he hasn't knocked out the top fighters that he fought. Even when he dominated Lemieux, I felt like he could have stopped them, but he just cruised through, outboxed him for 12 rounds. All right. Guys like Caceres, who Saunders struggled against. Martin Murray, who was far past it, really wasn't any danger for Saunders, but it was just an okay performance. You got Willie Monroe, you got Chris Eubank Jr., who a lot of people feel that Eubank won the second half of the fight. You got Eubank Jr., you got, just going down the list, Andy Lee, who came back. Saunders has never looked overly impressive. But Saunders may be one of those fighters that steps up depending on who he's facing. He's facing Canelo, so we should be seeing the best of him. I think if Saunders is to win this fight some way, it'll be on points. It'll just be on his movement. All right. And his jabs and just his hand speed. I don't think he's going to be landing really hard shots. I don't think he's going to gain Canelo's respect from his power. I think he wins off his time and his speed and his feet, which are much lighter than Canelo's. I think if anyone is able to make Canelo look clumsy, make him look slow, Billy has a better shot at doing it than anybody else at 168 and even at 160. Some people may say Caleb Plant is better. I don't believe Caleb Plant is better, in my opinion. And I'm basing that on the eye test and also from who he's faced. Billy's fought better fighters than Caleb Plant. And Billy looks like a better fighter than Caleb Plant to me. I think this is a bigger test. I wish Canelo had fought Andre, who was another southpaw. I wish I saw that fight. That's a fight I've always wanted to see. But I'm not mad at the Billy Joe Saunders fight at all. I love this fight. And, I think if Billy is to win, it's gonna be because of his feet. It's gonna be because of his southpaw. It's really hard to predict what he can do against Canelo because Canelo hasn't fought anyone like him since Lara. All right. We believe that Canelo got better, but Canelo got better in fighting, all these righties, all these orthodox fighters over and over again. Some were bigger than him. Chavez Jr., Sergey Kovalev, Callum Smith. A lot of them was much bigger. But they couldn't keep Canelo off them. All right. Billy, on the other hand, he got the ring size that he wanted. He has the legs. We know, I said in my breakdown that Billy is more willing to let his hands go than Lara. Lara won based on jab and the straight left to me. I think Billy has a little bit more to offer. So I say all of that to say this. If Canelo wins this fight, he's getting the utmost respect from me. If he wins and he wins clearly, fairly. There's no funny stuff with the judges. And I believe that I think people should respect him for the win. And no, you know, when people dislike a fighter, they'll never respect them. You know, there's still people, again, people want to see Charlo, Andrade. People are going to always want to see those fights, and they'll never be satisfied until they see those fights. Benavidez, you know, they want to see Canelo dominant against somebody of their liking. But to me, this would be maybe not on paper, but to me, if Canelo is to look impressive tonight against Billy, if he's even able to stop Billy, to me, it will remove that whole myth of him not being able to fight southpaws, movers. All right. Daniel Jacobs, unfortunately, his dominant stance is orthodox, clearly. Daniel can switch into a southpaw, and he did against Canelo. He fought the whole 7th round against Canelo as a southpaw. But he wasn't really threatening like that. And this is why he had to continue to switch back. I just think he was giving Canelo a different look, seeing if there was success there. But he switched a couple times. I think even in the 9th round, he switched for the majority of the 9th round. Wasn't having much success there, so he switched back. So I can't count and compare Jacobs to a Lara, to a Saunders, not even to an Austin Trout when it comes to fighting out of the southpaw position. All right, so we really haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it, and I think this is what makes the fight intriguing. So if Canelo looks great, I'm giving him all the credit in the world for those reasons and all the other reasons I said earlier. Again, remember, no funny weight stuff. Billy got the ring size he wanted. Billy is young, undefeated, fresh, coming off wins. There should be no issues. All right? So I think if Canelo wins and look impressive, he should definitely get the credit. All right? So listen, again, I'll be here 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be here live covering the fights. You know how we do. We'll be talking about a lot of things like I normally do. I will cover certain fights. I will do live commentary for certain fighters. But we will be talking boxing leading up to the actual fight. Do the live commentary and give you my views after the fight is over. All right? I will see you guys then. And again, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button. Peace.